So there's the Spider-Verse happening, the Sony-verse, whatever verse you want to call it, where Sony still owns Spider-Man also.
Yes. And all the villains.
Yeah, and they share this with the MCU, with Disney, and they actually make more money than the MCU, or the Marvel actually does.
Yes.
It's mostly, Spider-Man No Way Home is the biggest Sony film ever, apparently.
Yes.
So that means it's mostly them that gets all the money, basically. So they're like, okay, we got Venom, they got that Morbius thing coming out, we need a Spider-Man, right? And if you watch Spider-Man No Way Home, it's pretty clear that Tom Hardy's Venom is not coming into the MCU.
Right.
And that Tom Holland is going to go off and he's going to do his own things in college and it's going to be awesome. So they're like, okay, well, maybe Andrew Garfield. No Way Home, so
I hope he does come back as Spider-Man for the Venom movie.
Yeah, so like if they bring him into this Spider-Verse or this...
I just want a movie that's just Spider-Man versus Venom. Like, that's...
Yeah, and I think him and Tom Hardy would probably be great chemistry. I don't know, I mean...
Yeah. Spider-Man v. Venom. Dawn of Symbiote. Like,
oh my god, and then Morbius is there, because I don't know, what, do you know anything about Morbius? He's a vampire or something?
Vampire, that's about it.
Oh, he did show up a little bit in the cartoons, the 90s cartoons.
Jared Leto, that's all I know.
Oh yeah, Jared Leto, or whatever.
Who cares?
I could care less, I don't care.
He's good in 30 Seconds to Mars.
He
Take me down, bury me.
I didn't see that one, but Andrew Garfield. Have you seen?
It's a band, not a movie.
We're gonna cut that. It doesn't exist. So here we go. Venom and
we definitely didn't just brush over an embarrassing moment.
So
I haven't seen that.
He was in a band.
Yeah, it's his band.
Oh,
it's like it's good music.
I guess, maybe.
30 Seconds to Mars. They have a couple good songs, right? Come on, back me up. The Kill's a great song.
I did not know that, and
you'd know it if you heard it.
Don't care.
You'd know it if you heard it. You'd know it if you heard it.
His Joker sucks!
You'd know if you heard it.
I probably would know it if I heard it, because it was probably on the radio.
You'd know it if you heard it.
I probably would know it if I heard it.
But yeah, so,
The Amazing Spider-Man 3 with Venom. What do you think? I think that could be interesting.
Bring it on. I'm here for it.
I'm sort of reinvigorated in because the Amazing Spider-Man films were both kind of trash. But he was great as Spider-Man.
Yes.
And I get where they were they were a mess because, they were written by two idiots. The guys that have been, according to a lot of people, have been ruining Star Trek. So... Alex somebody or other, and whatever, I'll throw their names up. They suck. Terrible. They actually wrote the Star Trek films, too. Oh, yeah, I got rid of those movies.
Did you really?
I did, yeah, I got rid of them. I'm like, whatever.
I didn't mind those.
Like, don't mind.
All right.
I thought they were fine, but I don't need to own them. I don't care. They're all right.
So you own every movie made ever, except for the
3 Star Treks.
That's fair.
Alex Kurtzman? Yeah, that sounds familiar. They suck.
Sounds like a disease.
It is!
It's
infected! It's infected and everything, Star Trek!
But no, I want to see the third chapter and let everybody have their day, and because it'll be almost a convergence of the end of a trilogy for the Garfield Spider-Man movies, and as a third chapter for Venom.
Oh, yeah.
Have them, they start out fighting each other because it's who's going to be the protector of the city sort of a deal. And then they got to team up to fight a bigger bad somewhere along the line. Like, maybe Morbius comes in and they got to fight him or something along those lines.
Yeah, because they set up Venom as a anti-hero.
Yes.
Because he does kind of save the day in the first film. I haven't seen the second film, but I imagine he beats up Carnage because he's even worse. And then,
they make hint at Spider-Man at the end of it, I guess, or something like that.
Oh, they did. Well, they did. I guess the post-credit scene, he looks and he sees Tom Holland's Spider-Man on TV. So he may have already been brought into the multiverse at that point.
Must be or something, I don't know.
Who cares?
Yeah. It gets complicated.
But it could work really well. I mean, Venom is sort of, even visually, it's kind of darker. Mm-hmm. And they tried to make the Amazing Spider-Man a little bit darker. Tonally, that would work. Mm-hmm. Tom Holland's Spider-Man was always more upbeat, till this last one.
Yeah.
And then, you have all the MCU to consider as well. So I was always kind of struggling, like, I don't know. I mean, Tom Hardy and Tom Holland have actually been in a film together. Do you know what movie that is?
This one!
That doesn't matter.
We live adjacent to that city.
We live in... Alright, so how do we restart all this? Did you know Tom Holland and Tom Hardy were in a movie together? It's called Locke.
Wow, I did not know that, Alex.
Yeah, and Tom Holland was playing his kid on the phone. And because Tom Hardy's in the car the entire movie.
Wow, I did not know that, Alex.
It was actually probably his best performance, Hardy, rather. Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that, Alex.
Would we recommend this movie?
Shut up. This movie that hasn't happened yet? Yes, I would. I hope it happens.
I want it to happen, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a blast, sounds like a lot of fun. Andrew Garfield is a great Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. He's tied for first place among the three that have played him. I like all of them for different reasons. They all bring a new flavor to the character, and I like his version where he's kind of the more like,
Yeah, where Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is very melodramatic.
He's melodramatic, but also mature.
Well, especially now, yeah.
Tom Holland's is a little more...
He's a kid.
He's a kid, yeah.
He's trying to figure out all this stuff out and do the right thing. And then you always kind of get pushed around.
And Andrew Garfield is kind of he's almost like the cringy Spider-Man. He's like the...
He takes the...
In a good way.
Nerdy... He's the nerd.
He's the nerd.
He's the nerd Spider-Man. Now, they all have a little bit of that science guy in there.
He's the total dork.
He's the dork. He's the dork. He's the nerd. He's the guy that kind of messes up on... I don't know. I don't remember the movies that much. I assume he would be all the weird on a date and whatever, I guess.
He's awkward.
Yeah.
He's the most awkward.
And I don't really remember those movies because I only saw them once in the theater. But
hey, I hope we get the third chapter, and I hope that... Because Andrew Garfield obviously loves playing this role. I mean...
Oh, yeah.
The amount of energy and life that he brings to the character is phenomenal.
Yeah, he blew it out of the water. And
I was so worried that having him and Toby in No Way Home were going to bog down the movie, or that we were going to get just a little cameo at the end, like you were saying.
Oh yeah, in that one video we talked about, I had my issues with bringing in villains from the other movies and putting them all together, and it wasn't going to work and all this stuff, but it works. Mm-hmm. And they all mesh together, they all mesh together,
and it just makes me want to have more movies from all of these characters. Like,
you could have an entire movie of all three of the Spider-Men just talking. People would tune into that.
Yeah,
make $1 billion.
Just sitting around, just telling their Spider-Man stories.
Just shooting the shit. And that was great, because I didn't expect any of that. You don't think about any of that,
I almost want another Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah!
Let Sam Raimi make
Chapter Spider-Man 4, yeah.
And now it's just, 50-year-old Spider-Man.
Almost 50, yeah.
50-year-old Spider-Man training Miles Morales.
Yeah, that could work. Although it's already been hinted at in the MCU, so...
We could do it in that universe, too.
You can.
In the Raimi-verse.
Oh, God. But that's the thing, though. I wouldn't have a problem with there being more than one Spider-Man in the theaters. Because they're already doing it with Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Ben Affleck's Batman. You have Michael
Keaton.
Michael Keaton is coming back in The Flash in their own multiverse situation. So again, with the multiverse stuff, you're gonna have two Batmans in that movie. The third Batman is the Batman, and that's gonna be its own thing. Thank God. And so whatever.
But yeah,
I think this is great.
I hope it happens.
Do it.
You hear us, executives?